Hi, I'm Miranda, and this is Nick.
Wait.
Welcome to episode 36 of the Ranting Podcast.
That's wild.
This is our Rants on the Rocks episode where we review different types of media. And we're still here celebrating October and the spooky season. And we get to continue with our October Showdowns with another one of my longtime favorites, The Craft and the Craft Legacy.
Sounds so secondary.
Well, similar to last week, we're going to be comparing the two movies. This time it's going to be an 8-round showdown.
Oh, the last one was 10, right?
6.
Oh, 6.
Yes.
Oh, so it's more.
It is
okay.
10 spells.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do want to say, though, despite my little joke there, I actually was a lot more optimistic going into this one than I was last week. And overall, I think it went significantly better. So much so that it was actually kind of hard for me to put this together when it came to the rounds and stuff. Like you'll see, I'll get into it. Yeah,
interesting. Because you like the second one more.
Yeah, I actually did like the second one.
Okay.
So again, though, before we jump into the rounds, I have some fun facts to share.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't really find a whole lot of fun facts for the second movie. I had a really hard time finding some. I was searching.
Before we start, what's the gap between the two? Can we know that before we start?
Oh, I actually didn't even calculate it. What was it? The Craft came out in, I think it was 93. I have it written down here. So The Craft came out in 1996.
Okay.
And then Legacy came out in 2020. So that was, I can't math in my head, 24 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have to go back to, I went to my contact.
24-year gap. Okay.
Yeah, 24-year gap. But it I guess the reason why I didn't focus as much on that this time was because it wasn't all of the same characters it was for Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
No, but I'm just saying that's why
that's fair.
I didn't really think about it as much in comparison because how I went through last week and was they were this age when they filmed the first one and then this age with the second one. Yeah. That's why
this is a whole new cast.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really have that part tied into it as much, but
fair.
Still interesting nonetheless. So like I was saying, I was having a hard time finding some fun facts for Legacy. So I'm going to start with that movie since I only have a few for that one.
Okay.
So, first up, the actress who played Lily was the only one of the girls in the Coven who hadn't practiced witchcraft prior to being cast for this movie. And yes.
Interesting.
And then due to negative reactions from fans, the film reshot additional scenes, including the ending, and it was shifted to a soft reboot rather than a remake as it had originally been pitched.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, although this film was nominated for a 2021 GLAAD Media Award for Outstanding Film Wide Release, and that's because it honors that award honors the excellence in depiction of LGBT characters and themes. And this film highlighted both Lourdes as transgender and Timmy as bisexual. So that's where that came from.
Okay.
But despite the award nomination, the film was actually a box office bomb. So, yeah.
Wow.
And then I'll I have a little bit more detail about that later.
I don't know if that's a fun fact, but
yeah,
that's a fact.
Super fun. Well, like I said, I was trying to search all these things and it was going into the making of the movie and here's the stuff about the wardrobe. And I'm those aren't fun facts.
Yeah.
That's not... True. I don't care about
it's
the costume
more background
design.
Shit. Yeah,
right.
I
was that's not what I'm talking about here. This isn't a fashion podcast. No, the fashion's cool. It's not enough for us to talk about, I think.
Okay.
Well, I think I would lose you pretty quickly.
I would be present.
There you go.
Okay.
So shifting over to the first Craft.
Okay.
A lot of these I did get from IMDb. I had found a couple other articles somewhere and then I accidentally closed my pages and I couldn't get them back. So that's all I got. IMDb. Starting out. Robin Tunney. I looked it up. I think it's Tunney. The actress who played Sarah.
Okay.
She wore a wig for the entire film because she had recently shaved her head for another role that ended right before the craft began filming.
Oh, okay. Sarah was
She was the main girl, the new girl.
Yep.
And Fairuza Balk, the actress who played Nancy, actually purchased a Wiccan magic shop in Hollywood while she was researching her role for this film. And she ended up operating it until 2001.
Wow, 5 years.
Yep. And this blurb straight from IMDb. Sorry, I thought this was going with it. So there was some like weird stuff that had happened on set as well. And so this is like a quote that I got from IMDb, but it's from an official website of the film. And it said, the crew had to return to the location a second time to complete filming, interrupted by several weird occurrences that even caused witch consultant Pat Devon to raise an eyebrow. As the fog rolled in at midnight, the 4 actresses used actual Wiccan rites and language to invoke powerful forces. Then, as Fairuza Balk's character Nancy attempts to invoke the deity Manon, a flock of bats hovered over the set, and the tide rose dramatically, extinguishing the circle of candles. Witchcraft consultant Devon recalls that Manon, a fictitious creation for the film, sounds very close to Manan. I forgot I was going to go back and look for this, but it's the Gaelic god of the sea. And it said, luckily, we weren't all swept out to sea. And director Andrew Fleming is quoted saying, every time the girls started the ceremony, and only when they would start the ceremony, the waves would start coming up tremendously fast, pounding heavily. Then, right when Nancy says her line, Manon, fill me, right at that exact moment, we lost power. It was a very strange thing.
Fuck that. Nope. Hell no.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, you guys were using like the real language.
That's
like, I feel like
gnarly.
maybe you should have made up some words.
Yeah, you're fucking with bad juju right
it's
there.
It's a practice for a reason. Don't play with it.
No, don't fuck with that dark magic stuff.
Yeah.
Yikes. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, a little bit, I guess, on the darker side as well. Unfortunately, Rachel True, the actress who played Rochelle, dealt with a lot of racism, specifically during the promotion of this movie. She had been ignored in a lot of the promotional materials, and she was forgotten by press junkets until one of her co-stars made some phone calls about the situation to like have her be involved. And she was the only one of the 4 main actresses not to be invited to the MTV Movie Awards that year. She was also warned not to associate with Fairuza Balk because at the time Fairuza had an edgy and rebellious reputation. And they, like, I'm guessing was her agent, had told Rachel that because she was black, she wouldn't be allotted the same excuses and considerations that her white co-star was granted. And then, ironically, in the original writings of the movie, Rochelle's character had an eating disorder. But after Rachel True was cast for that role, they switched her storyline to the racist bullying. And like she didn't know about it until she had accepted the role, from my understanding. And
okay.
I think in the beginning, like, obviously she probably felt some kind of way about it. I mean, I would have. But there is stuff later interviews where she has come out and said, like, I actually think it was a very good thing for them to put that in the movie, like for that to be part of the story, because
does
like,
she comment on the other shit?
I mean, probably. I think that she has over the years and stuff. But as far as like that storyline in the movie, she was like, I do feel like it did make a point, like it did really serve. Yeah, because I mean, I guess, if it was, just like another white girl in the group of the other 3, then it would make sense for her to have the eating disorder and everything. Like that would be her problem.
Okay.
But it also does make sense that that's her issue in the movie. Okay. So like, I think it worked out well. Okay. And even like the kind of shock factor of it, because, I was going to write her name down, but the actress that plays Laura Lizzie is just fucking cutthroat.
Which one is Laura Lizzie?
Laura Lizzie is the blonde girl that's mean to Rochelle.
Oh,
yes,
the one that loses her hair.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So like she is just like cutthroat in that fucking movie. She's so mean.
Well, until she starts losing her fucking hair.
Yeah, but I mean, like it just. I felt like it was very realistic as far as like what people tend to deal with in school and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good thing to be included in the movie.
Yeah.
Especially after going back and watching it over the years, I think it's still her storyline still holds up.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Okay.
Moving on. I don't know if you realized, but Neve Campbell and Skeet Ulrich were both in this movie. And
who are these people?
Neve Campbell is Bonnie, the one with the scars.
Okay.
And then Skeet Ulrich was Chris, the one that Sarah did the love spell on.
Okay.
They starred in this movie and then later starred in Scream together.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So they ended up having a bet going of which movie was going to end up having a higher gross profit because I guess The Craft came out earlier and then Scream came out later. And
wow, Scream came out in 96. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it came out in like December or something.
Okay.
But in the end, Scream ended up having a higher box office success, so Neve Campbell won the bet.
Oh.
And as part of his punishment, Skeet Ulrich had to wear a chicken costume in the Manhattan heat while sharing World War II trivia with passersby.
What the fuck?
And according to this fun fact, because of that, Skeet Ulrich earned a newfound respect for the mascot community and regularly donates to the United Mascot Association of America.
That's so random.
I wrote, "Is this for real?" Because I think I was going to go back and like look that up, and I completely forgot to.
So funny. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
So moving on. In one scene, which I'm assuming is the scene towards the end, obviously. It's when the three girls are taunting Sarah in her house. There are over 3,000 snakes involved, and this includes pythons, boas, water snakes, garter snakes, rat snakes, a 10-foot Amazon constrictor, and even some rare albino snakes.
I noticed all of that.
Yuck.
They were fucking everywhere.
I hate that. I get there, but I hate that scene. Just they're on me. Oof. Like that's literally every time I'm just like, let me do a shake, get them off me.
That's a gnarly scene.
Yeah, it's wild. And so, I have another quote here that explains some of the symbolism within the movie. So in the scene where the four girls arrive at the beach to invoke the spirit, they each carry an animal that represents themselves or their wants. Rochelle carries a clownfish. Her passion is diving, which she can't enjoy as long as Laura Lizzie is there bullying her. And Bonnie carries a butterfly. It represents the beauty and adoration that she's longed for after being ignored or seen as a monster. Sarah carries a lovebird, representative of her desire for Chris, and Nancy carries a snake, symbolic of rebirth, transformation, and immortality, as Nancy wanted a better life for herself and her mother, as well as power and leadership for herself.
Yeah, she was fucking power hungry.
Yeah. And then...
I think the snake is fitting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all fitting.
Yeah. So just two more.
Okay.
So the levitation effect in the scene where the girls are playing light as a feather, stiff as a board, was accomplished using a platform and pole, which were later edited out. And then according... I
thought that was a real scene, but okay.
Oh, yeah, me too. I was like, oh my God, I want to try. So last but not least, according to Google, the money that Nancy and her mother inherited, it was $175,000 in 1996, is equivalent to roughly $361,350 in 2025.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Still a good bit of money.
Yeah.
I'd be happy
they
with
were
it.
blowing through it quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fucking the jukebox, the customized jukebox and the fucking penthouse and like.
Yeah. It was 1996. That costs like $10.
Oh,
That's fine.
Yeah, penthouse costs $10.96.
Fine, 50.
God.
All right.
Okay.
Are you ready for the clash of the covens?
Yeah, let's do it.
Came up with that last minute. All right. Everybody got your scorecards ready?
Oh, God.
All right. Number 1, pacing and plot. So we're going to be talking about which story actually holds attention and doesn't fizzle out.
Okay.
So similar to last time, I can do a quick plot recap.
Okay.
Again, tried to go through and get the most important pieces from both movies. So from The Craft, the first movie, this starts out with Sarah, a troubled teenage girl who recently moved to LA with her father and stepmother. She quickly befriends a trio of outcast girls who are rumored throughout the school to be witches, and their names are Nancy, Bonnie, and Rochelle. Nancy's backstory is that she's living in poverty with an alcoholic mother and disgusting abusive stepdad. Bonnie has scars covering her body, and Rochelle is a black girl dealing with racism at school by specifically one white girl named Laura Lizzie. The girls reach out to Sarah after Bonnie witnesses her levitating a pencil in class, and they convince her to complete their coven as their 4th, which also makes it possible for them to call the corners and give themselves power by channeling the powerful earth deity Manon. Sarah also catches the eye of a popular boy named Chris. They end up going on a date, and Sarah thinks everything is fine, but the next day she finds out that Chris told everyone at school that they had sex even though he didn't, and he just turns into a real jerk. Soon, though, the girls use their newly gained powers to cast spells meant to benefit themselves. Sarah casts a love spell on Chris, causing him to become completely infatuated with her. Bonnie casts a spell for beauty, which eventually removes all of her scars. Rochelle casts a spell on Laura Lizzie, which causes Laura to lose her hair. And Nancy casts a spell for power, and eventually she causes her stepfather's fatal heart attack, which grants her and her mother a sizable life insurance payout, enabling them to move out of the trailer park into a luxury high-rise apartment. Nancy eventually becomes power hungry and encourages the girls to help her invoke the spirit of Manon, a spell that they carry out on the beach. And the girls' powers become stronger, specifically Nancy, who walks on the water the following morning. Unfortunately, though, she continues to crave more and more power and engage in risky behavior, and soon enough, their spells begin to have negative consequences. Bonnie's newfound confidence has made her become self-centered and arrogant. Rochelle realizes how traumatizing Laura's experience is going bald, and probably the most unfortunate is when Chris attempts to assault Sarah on a night out together. And then later that night...
Like sexual assault.
Yeah. And then later that night at a house party, Nancy uses a glamour spell to change her appearance to Sarah's. She tricks Chris into hooking up with her at a party. And then when Sarah arrives and breaks them up, attempting to get Nancy to leave with her, Chris accuses Nancy of being jealous. And then Nancy rages at him and uses her powers to throw him out the window, killing him. And so
he did die.
He did die. Yep.
Ooh, that's
and
gnarly.
so at this point, Sarah is recognizing how dangerous Nancy is, and she attempts a binding spell to bind Nancy from doing harm against herself or harm against others. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately for Sarah, though, Nancy's power is too strong, and she, along with Bonnie and Rochelle, turn on Sarah. They invade Sarah's dreams. They make her hallucinate that she's being swarmed by snakes, scorpions, spiders, all these insects. They even make a news report, play on the TV, showing a plane crash that her father and stepmother were involved in.
Yeah, that part's fucked.
Ultimately, they attempt to drive Sarah to suicide, which is something that she revealed she had previously attempted. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of the fight, Sarah retreats and manages to invoke the spirit on her own, and she's able to successfully take on the other 3 girls by herself. And she then casts the glamour spell on Bonnie and Rochelle to show them the physical effects of their spells. Bonnie sees herself with the scars back on her body, but worse than before. And then Rochelle sees herself with almost all of her hair having fallen out. Mm-hmm. And so after scaring those 2 and making them run away, Sarah is then able to take on Nancy by herself and finally successfully bind her from causing harm to anyone forever. And the movie ends with Bonnie and Rochelle confronting Sarah, hoping for reconciliation, but Sarah wants nothing to do with them. And they quietly mock her, thinking she has no powers left, like them. But Sarah suddenly shifts the weather, moving the clouds and conjuring lightning, and she warns them to be careful so they don't end up like Nancy, who we then see is locked up in a psychiatric hospital, strapped to the bed and desperately insisting that she can fly.
Oh, that part was funny.
Yep, and that's the end of the first movie.
Yep.
So, for the second movie, the plot, do have to say the Craft Legacy is categorized as a legacy sequel, and it was released by Blumhouse in 2020. I just had that blurb in there.
Blumhouse.
Yeah, I know. I always thought it was Blumhouse, but I made the mistake of Googling it, and it's Blumhouse. I like Blumhouse better.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to call it Blumhouse.
So the plot for The Craft Legacy, the movie begins with Lily, a teenage girl moving to a new town with her therapist mother, Helen. They're going to move in with Helen's boyfriend, Adam, and his sons, Jacob, Isaiah, and Abe. Shortly after arriving and getting settled into the new home, Lily has her first day at the new school. Unfortunately, though, she begins her period, which soaks through her jeans and down her chair, and she's then mocked by her classmates, specifically by a bully named Timmy. Later on, Timmy also antagonizes Lily in the hallway, and she telekinetically throws him into the air and into some lockers. At the end of the school day, while Lily is serving detention, she is contacted telepathically by three girls, Lourdes, Frankie, and Tabby. These were also the three girls that came to her aid after the period incident. I forgot to go back and add that in.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, so they brought her fresh shorts to wear after her accident. So these girls reach out to her telepathically while she's sitting in detention, and they tell her to ask to go to the bathroom and bring all her stuff. And so when she joins them, they reveal themselves as witches, and they welcome Lily into their coven with open arms. And they share with her that now that their circle is complete, they're going to gain a whole new level of power, and like they can call the corners, all this stuff. So there's this whole montage of them first they call the corners, they get all their magic, and then there's a whole montage of them trying out their magic, including levitation with light as a feather, stiff as a board, which I thought was a cute callback. And then eventually they decide to break into Timmy's house and cast a spell on him to change his behavior and make him be his highest self because he's awful. Almost immediately after they've completed their spell, Timmy apologizes to the girls and they all become close friends. And then after a bit more time, Timmy reveals to the girls that he is bisexual and he actually hooked up with Adam's eldest son, Isaiah. Through some more time, Lily ends up placing a love spell on Timmy, which results in the two of them sharing a kiss. But unfortunately, the next morning at school, the students are told by their teacher that Timmy had allegedly committed suicide at home the night before. And so when the girls come together to discuss the tragedy, Lily reveals that she had placed him under an additional spell. And so then the other three girls sever ties with her and they choose to bind Lily as well as themselves from practicing magic. And so Lily, having sensed something dangerous in Adam, asks Helen, if they can please just leave. But Helen is hesitant, and she's like, we just need to wait until Timmy's funeral, and, we just got to get through that. So in the meantime, Lily decides to go into Adam's office to try and search for some proof against him, maybe to get Helen, the ball rolling, get her to leave.
Yeah.
But Lily ends up finding her own adoption papers. And so then she confronts Helen.
It's fucking messy.
And Helen reveals that she was sworn to secrecy by Lily's biological mother, who happened to be a psychiatric patient of Helen's. Following Timmy's funeral, Helen finally comes back to Lily and she's like, I believe you. I'm ready to leave. And at the same time, she's telling Lily, I know about your powers and I know that this is it's probably too much for you, so let me help you. You need to grant your powers over to me. But of course, Lily is immediately suspicious, and she's like, my mother would never speak to me this way. And so I think she like headbutts her, and then Helen shapeshifts back into Adam, Helen's boyfriend, who turns out was like a leader of this pagan cult, and he had his own powers, and he was in pursuit of Lily's as well. So then he ends up knocking Lily unconscious, and she wakes up in the woods where Adam reveals that he killed Timmy, and now he's planning to kill Lily. Sure enough, Lourdes, Frankie, and Tabby show up, and the three girls use their now unbound powers to defeat Adam, and they circle him in a ring of fire and burn him to death. Ending the movie, we see Lily and Helen at a psychiatric hospital where it's revealed that Lily's birth mother is Nancy, the girl that was committed at the end of the first movie. So that was the plot synopsis of both.
So we're under the impression that she got pregnant by being with the guy that she killed in the first one.
That's what I think.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Chris.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that Lily was the product of Nancy and Chris. It's not confirmed who the dad is, but I think if you like put two and two together, I guess she could have been like sleeping with somebody else in the background of that movie, but that was the one that they focused on. So I feel like if they're going to, they were to come back with a third, it would only make sense to make Chris be the dad.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's dead anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, she killed him too. So
and I mean, she's committed, so I don't know how they would do that.
Anyways.
But I'm not going to speak it into existence. So,
anyways.
So what did you think about both movies? I mean, as far as the plots go, which plot did you like better?
Oof. I like the second one of this. Are we calling it series? Whatever we're.
Yeah, this comparison.
Yeah, this comparison. I like the second one better than I did. What was the first one? Hocus Pocus.
Oh, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. I like this sequel a lot better. Or remake, whatever they're dubbing it. I liked it a lot better. I don't know that I like the story better. It's closer than it was with Hocus Pocus, but with this one, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't. I like the change of like. I don't want to get too off topic, but if anybody ever seen like the Covenant from back in the day with the four, this is the plot of Covenant. Because the guy he's about to, I forget what they call it, but he's about to become like almost like
ascend.
Ascend, yeah. And then, as soon as he is about to ascend, the guy wants his powers. Yeah, that's the stepdad. Essentially the boyfriend. Yeah, it's like what he's trying to do. Yeah, kind of. He wants to soak up that good movie. That power. It's a phenomenal movie. So that resonated with me a lot watching the second one. What was the Craft? The Craft Legacy, right? Yeah. That kind of stood out to me a lot with this one. I really like that. That was a nice touch. It added a complexity. And then especially the end where it was Nancy's kid. That was like super powerful. That was pretty cool too. So I don't know. I don't want to pick a favorite, but that's fair. I don't know. I like them equally, but I do like how, I don't know, this one a little more modern. I like that. At the beginning, I don't think I was super into it. It was kind of slow to pick up. Whereas the first one kind of just dove right in.
Jumped right in.
And I remember thinking this, is that they were super, in the second one, Legacy, they were super fucking loud about their powers. Because like as soon as they were doing the is it telepathy to the girl in detention, and they called her out, and then they freaked out when she came out because that's when they confirmed that it worked. And they were super fucking loud in public, like it worked. You're our fourth. Blah blah blah. I was like, shut the fuck up.
I mean, people probably didn't even know what they were talking about, but
no, I definitely like both. I think the first one was a lot more authentic. I think the first one was a lot more authentic.
I kind of felt that way too. I think my biggest like disappointment with the second one was not having more backstory on the rest of the girls. Like the second movie was really more focused on Lily, which I guess like is the legacy part. I'm guessing.
Oh, no shit.
So I guess that makes sense in that manner. But when you go from the first movie to where they all had like their own backstory and like, you know, there's more depth to them as characters. This one, they all felt like supporting characters to Lily, whereas they were all like equally important in the last one. I mean, that was really just like my only disappointing thing.
I will say I was very disappointed with, I think it was the second movie where there's a lame like last battle between, so like,
we'll get to that too.
Okay, but I didn't like that. That part I really didn't like. I'm pretty sure that was the second one.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yes.
Overall plot though, I think. Pretty equal, but the first one was definitely more authentic to me.
I think it made more sense as like a coven, like a witch coven movie, the first one, than the second one did.
That's interesting you bring up the legacy thing. That never clicked with me. I never really thought about like not the subtitle, but the subcategory or whatever you want to call it.
The subtitle, Yeah,
I guess. But I never really thought about like that working into the movie, but legacy actually makes a lot of sense. That it was just about her being Nancy's daughter and her being the main character. So.
You ready to move on to round 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Squad goals or Coven Chemistry.
I will say the first time we did this, Hocus Pocus, you let me know what the categories were.
Ooh,
This one, I'm going in completely blind, so I have no idea what's coming up.
Whoops.
Because you showed me, and this is something I was going to ask you too.
I showed you the whole list.
the post.
I did,
with the list of all the categories. This one, I have no idea what the categories are, so I'm going in completely blind.
I got really busy.
Yeah,
and I forgot. I am sorry.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the Rant files where you go in blind.
Well, there you go.
So really testing my memory here.
Yeah. Good.
What's round 2?
Squad goals. So it's like which group actually feels like a real coven and not just a cast of characters.
Squad goals. You're such a nerd. Okay, go ahead.
Right. Coven Chemistry. You like that one better?
You were playing around names, huh?
I couldn't decide.
As squad goals, I guess, is fine. That's more
whichever
this time.
Yeah. So what I had said was I felt like in the first movie there was clearly a deep friendship between the original 3 and the Coven before Sarah was included.
Okay.
One scene specifically that like tugged at my heart a little bit, but I felt like kind of showed the softer side to Nancy and like how she felt towards her friends was the scene where her and Bonnie are sitting in front of the fireplace and like Bonnie has like her shirt off and Nancy's like doing the magic on her scars and she's like asking Manon to take her scars away. So I don't know if you noticed, but there's a part where Nancy like kind of stops and it just like looks at her and then she like turns and looks away at the fire and like it almost looks like she's trying not to cry but like you can see in that moment that like she clearly cares about her friend. She's not just a monster, you know. Right. So like she does obviously care very deeply for her friends. Yeah. So I just thought that was a sweet part to point out. Okay. And then I mean both of them had like the similar kind of montages showing the girls spending a lot of time together and practicing their magic and everything. But I do think that there was a lot more like sisterhood in the second one. So I think like in the first one, it showed, you know, obviously them turning against each other and everything. But I really did like in the second one how much of like girls they were and how they really were just there for each other the whole time. And even when like the other girl was trying to shame Lily because she got her period in class, they were like, that's not fucking cool. Mm-hmm. Like we all have to deal with this shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like things like that. And then how once Lily did the spell on Timmy, that they just kind of held each other accountable and were like, we need to bind her, but also we need to bind ourselves because like clearly we're messing with stuff that we don't know how strong it is. Yep. So I just liked how in the second movie, there was more of that like sisterhood and like having more power together whereas in the first one, it was very much like, we want to have the power, but we don't mind like turning on each other, you know?
Okay. That makes sense.
But I don't know. That was just my 2 cents from it. what do you think about the Covens?
I think I agree with most of it. I think there was a lot more. Is it moral? I don't know how to word that. But they had a lot more moral in the second one.
Oh,
they
yeah,
had a lot
significantly more. Yeah, like
where the first one, they were very, very hungry for power. Even when it all went south, they just kind of binded together.
Yeah.
And they just kept going down that dark path until they were checked. You know, with the second one, they were like, we need to, this is not good. This is not okay.
Exactly,
but,
yeah.
I think it felt more of it's a coven, right? It felt more of a coven in the first one. It felt more of a high school relation or a high school friendship in the second one.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a coven feeling in the second one. They were kind of just besties, you know, where the first one was legit, like, we are witches. This is a coven. We have rules, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That was the difference to me.
Yeah, it seemed like in the first one they really were like individually hardcore into magic on their own, and then the
first one,
the second one it was like, this is something we do together, and like, holy shit, now we can do more.
Right? Yeah,
like,
they were very power hungry in the first one. I did like in the second one how they came together at the end.
Yeah,
they came to her rescue when she was being attacked by stepdad.
Yeah, we'll go into that later too. But
so that was good too. But yeah, I think that's my main takeaway is that like. It was more, the first one was more of a coven, and the second one was more of just like a high school besties.
Yeah, I felt, like I said, it was more of like a sisterhood with the second one, whereas like
I think
they were first, I felt like they were friends first and witches second, whereas in the first one it would be like we're witches first and friends second, you know?
Yeah.
But again, I mean, I liked them both. I liked both groups of girls. I mean, obviously, things get crazy in the first one, and you know, you gotta pick sides.
Yeah, right.
But ultimately, like,
I think there's different subcategories.
Oh, there's obviously. Yeah, this is where I'm saying I was having such a hard time. Like, I got to this round and I was like, I can't pick. I don't know if I can pick.
Are you supposed to pick You're just comparing.
It's supposed to be picking a winner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did we pick a winner from the first one?
Hocus Pocus.
No. What? No, from the first category. The first.
Oh, well, we were talking about the plot. We were saying that the plot was better in the first one, I think.
Okay.
So,
okay, so that one won. So we have to pick a winner.
Okay.
Okay. So, what's the description of this category?
It literally says, which group actually feels like a real coven of friends, not just a cast of characters?
I mean, right there. What feels like a real coven? It's the first one.
Yeah.
The first one feels like a real coven, how you worded it. So I think the first one has to be the winner.
I think so too.
Boom.
Wow.
Lawyered. Or witched. I don't know.
Ooh.
Whatever.
There you go.
I'm here all
Warlocked. All right.
What's number 3?
Round 3.
Yep.
Best witchy vibes. So there is like the dark and moody rebellion of 1996 versus the more modern and inclusive like women's empowerment in 2020.
Okay.
So which one do you think nailed like the witchy vibe better?
Oh God. I think I need more of a description. Say the description one more time.
It's with the first movie, had more of like that dark, moody, kind of rebellious, goth and grungy.
So you're talking about the collective group, not just a single?
Yeah, just the group as a whole. Like which one gave off better like the witchy vibes?
The coven themselves.
Yes.
I think that's a hard category because I think the new girls are introduced and they're lighter. So in both movies. So the first one, the 3 are very dark and they bring in kind of a lighter character. And obviously she's very lighter because she becomes the light of the whole thing. And then the second one, they're not so much dark. They're more giddy.
Yeah.
They're more like high school, besties like we were talking about. And they bring in this personality that's a little more off-put. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, this is weird to me. And then she comes in and she starts doing the damn thing with them. But they end up cutting her off because she makes that bad call. But then they come to her rescue. So I don't know if I have. What do you think?
Well, I felt like, I mean, obviously there was a lot more of a dark magic vibe to the first one. I like the, like the grungy dark mood to it and everything. I felt like they gave off more of like the stereotypical goth witch girls. Whereas in the second one, I mean, I thought there's just more comedy to that group in general. And then, like you said, it was more of just like friends. Like I thought they were more believable as a group of girls that was just like a group of weird girls that hung out together versus, you know, the first one where they were like, everybody was like pretty sure they're witches. But also in the first one, this is a group of girls that went to a Catholic school. So I think that was even more like drives in the stereotypes of it all. But I do think that.
So they were more obvious in the first one, less obvious in the second one. Okay. All right.
So, I mean, ultimately, I would think that the first one has the better like witchy vibes to it. Okay. Just because it consistently has that like creepy.
So historically speaking, witch vibes kind of thing. Okay. I mean, I would definitely.
The more stereotypical witchy vibes.
I would definitely agree with, if you're going with like historically witchy vibes.
Yeah, like what you would expect from
the first one.
Yeah.
But that's also 1996, historically speaking. That's kind of, you know, nowadays, like if there were witches living amongst us, they would most likely be like these girls.
Probably.
You know what I mean? So like,
I don't know. Like it was fitting for the times, but
I think if you're talking about modern times, I think the better witches would be the ones that actually blend in my opinion.
That's true.
I think the ones that blend in more, because the ones that are like blatantly witches, like you are obviously a witch, you're going to be a target. You're going to be, I mean, what do they do with witches back in Salem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So like a witch nowadays, you would have to be a little more, which kind of goes against what I said before though, now that I think about it, because they were very obvious. Mm-hmm. But I think like you had said, no one was really like paying attention, but they were doing some obvious shit. So that's what makes it hard. But I think if we're talking modern times, I don't think the witches from the first one would. I don't know, but there's gothy.
I just think of like which merch would I want to buy more, I guess. It's like one way of like which one gives off the better like.
Well, that's the first
witchy vibe.
If we're going for merch, that's just what I'm
the first trying
one.
To narrow
so you want
it down
somebody that's dressed like Blade?
Oh my God, no, not Blade. Ain't dressed like the girls.
Like Ryan Reynolds from Blade?
Oh Christ.
Oh, okay. So if that's the qualifying thing, then it has to be the first one, because the second one, they don't look like witches at all.
No, I just think it had more.
Even like when they get off the bus in the first one, they're like, "We are the weirdos, Mister."
Exactly, like everything they did was
very
like
witchy.
Spooky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the
first one, if that's the qualifying,
one takes 3 too.
Okay.
All right. So,
are you keeping track of these?
No. I'll remember.
Okay.
Round 4.
You forget who you're talking to. What? You're going to forget the moment we stop.
It's fine. I have my opinions.
Okay.
Round 4. Spells and rituals. So this one I tried to make it fun again, and it replaced my numbers. It's fine, I can count. So this one is for who has like the cooler, creepier, more memorable magic scenes.
Oh God, okay.
I know. I ended up just switching this one around and doing like the 10 countdown.
Okay.
Number 10. was the telepathy spell that they did in Legacy. So I thought
at the very beginning, talking to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I guess it wasn't a spell, but whatever is magic. So I thought that the telepathy
whatever is magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I thought that the telepathy was pretty cool, but I guess it was kind of a plot hole for me, because I was wondering like how they were able to do that and be connected to each other without having called the corners yet. They hadn't done any of that. Like that was the first time that they were bringing Lily in. So that's why I automatically got number 10 for me.
I guess, but I guess I just assume, obviously I don't know, but I assume because they saw her messing. It was the pencil, wasn't it? Was that the second one?
That's the first one.
They saw her do something. Oh, it was throw the guy into the locker.
Yeah.
So they knew that she had magic. Like they were under the assumption.
Yeah,
so I
but
think
they
that's
still
how they
hadn't like come together as a coven.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, I didn't see it as like, because they've been saying that they hadn't been able to make it work because they didn't have her fourth. And then like that's supposed, I know, but that's supposed to be the whole reason why you call the corners is to bring it all together.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. It felt like a plot hole for me.
So that's why it was the least favorite for you. Okay.
And also I had a really hard time numbering these and I needed something to put at number 10. So telepathy.
Okay. What's number 9?
Number 9 was Nancy walking on water, which I know was crazy, should be higher. You'll see. Obviously, this part showed that Nancy had consumed all the power of Menno, and it was a good starting point for her villain arc as well. And then obviously, I think just really drove home like how powerful she was after invoking the spirit. But I mean, it was a quick thing. They kind of glossed over it. So that was 9.
Okay. I didn't understand. It seemed like it coincided with I don't know if it was all sharks. I want to say all sharks, but like why the sharks were on the shore.
I think it was supposed to like represent that she had gotten the power because she was like, these are my gifts.
I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me, but
I mean, just,
I don't know. I definitely
that he was listening, or I don't know.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe a stretch, but I think that it should be at 9 or 10 because of that.
Well, it was
because
number 9.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, because like I said,
it didn't really make sense.
Yeah, they didn't go into it too much there. I mean, obviously it was after they had invoked the spirit and everything, but like her walking on water wasn't, I think, like the main focus of all that had happened. So
yeah, I guess,
but still,
okay,
impressive. Number 8 was reading auras. They didn't go that far into reading auras as I would have liked to see. This was from Legacy.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yep.
But I did think that it was a nice addition to the girls' montage in the second movie. And their auras actually were meant to reflect the elements that each called out to. So green was earth, white was air, red is fire, and then blue is water. So the girls, their auras represented the respective element that they called out. And I forgot I was going to put which girl said which. I watched it, but I forgot to write down their names.
Yeah, they didn't really go back to that. Other than the aura around them, right? Well,
one thing that I had read in one of the articles that I lost was that apparently there was a scene that had been removed that showed Lourdes explaining that her grandmother had been into brujeria, which is witchcraft, and that it was Lourdes's grandmother who had taught them how to read auras. So like there was some little backstory in there.
Okay.
But it got cut out.
Deleted scene.
Yeah. Okay. So that again, like that's why it's kind of far down on the list because it was just a little blurb in there. They didn't really go into it.
Okay.
So it was 10, 9, 8. There we go. I need to just because I'm going to lose my spot when I'm talking. All right, number 7.
Okay.
Calling the corners. So first of all, I love that they kept the theme of calling the Guardians of the Watchtowers, or AKA calling the corners.
It's happening to both.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it's a group spell, which obviously sets things off for both of the groups. So that's why I felt like it was fitting for it to be included. And then I loved how they had both of those scenes happening out in like an empty field in the woods, and just kept that like authentic call to nature from you know, in the second, calling back to the first. And then also I did like that there was a little bit of a change in the reciting of the spells between the two movies. Like those two scenes of them calling the corners weren't exactly the same.
Oh, right.
Which, yeah, I really liked that.
They had to coach. And in Legacy, they had to coach the new girl on what to do.
Yeah,
too.
they were like,
nice
"Oh
touch.
Shit, we forgot to tell you what to do." You
that
know,
was a nice touch. It
so
was
it made
very
it
authentic.
Yeah, it made it a little bit more real because she was like, "I don't know what I'm doing," and then they were like, "We'll tell you."
Yeah, right. Okay,
like it's okay. We'll tell you what you got to say. But
that was number 7.
Yeah, that was number 7.
Okay.
So then number 6 was light as a feather, stiff as a board.
I like how they kept this in both.
Yep. And I mean, obviously, I really like this part in the first movie. It's a much longer scene in the first movie. And I think it really kind of shows that, like, that's the moment when they realize how powerful that they were together. Like,
she
having
only
her
falls
levitate.
in the second one, though, right?
No, in the first one.
She falls in the first one? I thought she fell in the second one.
No, she doesn't fall in the second one. Oh. In the first one, it's when they have Rochelle up in the air, and then Bonnie's mom comes in and she's like, fresh towels. And because they all break their concentration, Rochelle falls and hits the ground. And in the second one, they have, I think, Frankie levitating. And then, but they're all like, oh my God. So like they're able to keep their concentration and celebrate. So she doesn't fall.
It. Okay.
But I did like how they showed how the girls did it in the second movie, but they didn't ruin the moment by trying to make a whole new scene out of it, like from the first. They just had a much smaller part, and it was included in the montage of them like together and practicing their magic and stuff in the second movie. In the first movie, it was its own scene.
Yeah, right.
So like that was one thing that I was glad that like they had the callbacks to the first movie, but they didn't try to rewrite the scenes. They didn't try to remake those. Okay. So I liked that.
Yeah. Nice touch.
But that was number 6.
Okay.
Number 5 was when they froze time in Legacy. First.
That was wild.
Yep. First, when they froze time when they were calling the corners. That one, actually, when we were watching it, it threw me off because everything froze. I thought the movie froze.
I thought that the new girl, because she's the only one that moves, everybody else is still like concentrating.
Oh, I thought she was the only one that did it.
She was the only one. I was like, how fucking powerful is she?
Right? Yeah.
Because like everything froze. But then like I had mentioned something to you and you're like, no, I think...
Yeah, because
I think they're just concentrating.
Yeah.
So that's when they started moving and everything was frozen. I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And then the second time when it happens is when the girls break into Timmy's house and they're like trying to run away. And then Lily, it's like she panics when he's about to open the door and she ends up freezing him. And I'm guessing his dad too on her own. So yeah, she's like standing behind the door and Timmy's about to walk in and then he freezes and she's like, holy shit, and like takes off out the window with the rest of the girls. And then the last one, I think, she freezes Adam at the very end, but the one with all of them together is when they show that the girls did it again at school during lunch, and they froze everybody in the lunchroom, and they were like running around taking pictures and doing all that stuff. So it was just kind of funny. I don't know. It was part of the montage.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a nifty little spell.
That could come in handy.
Yeah. So number 4 was the empowerment spell on Timmy. I thought it was kind of nice that they took the approach of making someone else a better version of themselves rather than focusing on revenge for what Timmy did to Lily and probably other girls, like they said.
Yeah.
I did think it was kind of funny, like how it affected him, making him super sensitive. I just thought that like the actor played it out kind of funny. But they did, it did make him a much better person. And, I think that was a win for me, that he was a good person when he died, unfortunately. I mean, at least it wasn't after he tried to assault somebody.
I mean, yeah. That's true.
Number 4, go Timmy.
Okay.
It wasn't his fault. He died.
All right.
Timmy's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything to add to his empowerment spell?
No, that's fine. No. It just wasn't his authentic self, but it's fine.
Well,
it did make him a better version, but it wasn't his true self.
I don't know. I mean, because it
was very. Oh, okay, it's fine.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's what it said, was to make him his highest self.
I wonder, butterfly effect. I wonder if they didn't do that spell or whatever. Yeah, spell. I wonder if he still would have been killed.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, because Adam was like, he was too soft. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a spell.
But Adam's fucking crazy.
That's true.
Adam that killed him. Anyway, number 3. For that one, I had the initial spells from The Craft, the first movie. So I thought they were all super impressive and worked out well at first. The only one that I didn't think had a completely awful effect was Bonnie's spell. I know it changed her personality a bit, but it was focused on like something good for her. Obviously,
what was this one again?
Bonnie had the scars.
The hair. Yeah.
So,
but it turned her. I guess it made her more confident.
I mean, it did, but as far as like it wasn't hurting anybody else, is what I mean.
Yeah.
So like she was just trying to get it to like better herself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was the least. Am not aggressive.
Like externally invasive.
I guess. It wasn't like a malicious.
Yeah.
You know? But okay.
And then obviously we know how Sarah's love spell turned out with Chris losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And then Rochelle, honestly, okay.
Here we go.
I don't think that she was wrong, but I think Rochelle was the black girl that put the spell on Laura Lizzie for her to lose her hair. Because
she completely deserved that.
Oh, 100%. But also because when Sarah was braiding Laura's hair into Rochelle's, and Rochelle was like, well, what do you think is gonna happen to Laura? And Sarah's like, well, nothing if she leaves you alone.
Yeah.
But like, who knows what's gonna happen if she doesn't? So like,
I didn't fucking feel bad.
No, not at all. She was a fucking bitch. She deserved to have all of her hair fall out. Like once.
She was awful.
Yeah, never once did I feel bad for her.
Actually, yeah. Even just the racist comment she makes in the
locker room.
In the locker room, yeah. She doesn't like. I think she even calls her the N-word.
Oh, yeah, she calls her a negroid.
That's what it was. Yeah. So I mean, that right there is like.
Oh yeah, that's.
I can only imagine you're getting that from your fucking parents.
Oh, one.
Obviously,
it's always from the fucking parents.
Especially if you're talking like that in high school. Like you got that from home.
Yes, absolutely.
But
that
still,
shit's taught.
You should have. I want to say that you should have your own kind of thought process and your own, opinion. And if that's your opinion, then I think you completely deserved everything that came to you.
100%. She absolutely deserved it. That's why, that was really the only one that I was like.
She was a real see you next Tuesday. So
yeah. Like
she's a real bald.
Up until Rachel was like turning on Sarah at the end, I was like, yeah, girl, I'm 100% on your side because
hair can grow back.
Yeah.
It's not like she gave you cancer. It's just you lost all your hair. It's like you used the what's that shit called?
Nair.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, go wear your fucking wig. What was the last one? Oh, Nancy. Obviously, Nancy's power spell was ultimately her downfall. So that was really the end of the initial spells.
Yeah.
But they were number 3 on the spell list.
Okay.
So, number 2.
Okay.
I liked the illusion
So you're rating all the spells, but number 3 had a bunch of spells?
Well, because I couldn't separate them.
Okay.
I was going to go over my limit.
Okay.
It was going to come out to like 12 if I did that.
So you cheated your own system.
So, because they all happened at the same time.
Okay.
They did their spells at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess it is the same block. Okay.
Yeah, because when I drink of my sisters and I wish for myself and, that's when they're going around saying what they want. Yeah. Okay. So it all happened together. That's why I just...
Okay.
Leave me alone.
You like it, I love it. Let's go.
Yeah, I do. Number 2, the illusion spells. So I really liked the illusion spells in general. I mean, I think they're actually like glamour spells or whatever. It's the one in the first one where Sarah changes her eyes and then her hair color.
Oh, yeah.
And then Nancy ends up like changing her whole appearance to look like Sarah. Obviously.
Fucking, what is it, chameleon?
Mm-hmm. Obviously, it was a lot more intense in the first movie, given that Nancy impersonated a whole person, hooked up, killed somebody.
Yeah, got pregnant.
Yeah, and that too. And then in the second one, I guess I just tied them in together again. It was used in the second movie as well when Adam was impersonating Helen. He used that same spell.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I mean, that one it was a lot less climactic. And, when he was found out to be impersonating Helen versus when...
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
What?
So it was more climactic in the first one, you're saying?
Yeah.
Huh.
Like
but we knew it happened.
What do you mean?
So when we watch her change...
Well, I guess,
shape, so it's more climactic. So I guess it is.
One. All right. So the action, like that part itself is climactic, but I think what happens after is not as climactic than the first.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That should go for a vote because I think the second one is a lot more climactic. Oh, it absolutely is because at that point, so in the first one, you see her, I say shapeshift, whatever you said, glamour what?
It's a glamour spell.
Glamour spell. Okay, so she does a glamour spell in front of us to sleep with Chris.
Wait, are you going to go into the whole difference between them two?
No.
Okay, I was going to say just wait because that's the next round.
Just the glamour part. So we see her change her, shape or her, glamour or whatever. But he doesn't know because he's drunk.
Yeah.
Right. And the second one, I think, and that's not really climactic because we see it happen in real time. Whereas the second one, we don't know that Adam is a bad guy.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
We don't know that he can shapeshift
in that moment.
All that stuff. I think it's more climactic in the second one. That was probably my favorite right there. My personal favorite would be that because even though he was a bad guy, but it was very, I had no idea that he was able to do that. I mean, obviously we had suspicion, and she's the main character. Who's the girl again?
Lily.
Is it Lily in the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. From the jump, she is very sketched out by Adam.
Yeah.
But so the whole time we know and then what the meeting he has, that little clan rally or whatever you want to call it in this living room and all this crazy stuff. But we had no idea that he was, magic.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I suppose I'll let you have that one.
Leave it up to the people.
Whatever. They were both big plot twists. That's fine. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Number 1. I think the top one was invoking the spirit. Well, obviously that only happens in the first movie. They don't invoke the spirit in the second. So because not only when they initially do it, and then when they're, she consumes the power of Menno, goes and walks on water, the sharks are beached. I think there's whales and stuff too. But that really
So we're just talking about Nancy right now.
I'm just talking about the spell in general of invoking the spirit and just how crazy it was.
Okay.
But I also wanted to point out too that it's wild to see how they go from needing all 4 of them to invoke the spirit when Nancy's trying to get the power versus at the end when it's during the final fight and Sarah gains enough strength to invoke the spirit on her own and then go up against Nancy. Okay. So that was really
So which one is number 1? Because they invoke it twice in that movie then.
Just
once with all 4 with Nancy.
Just invoking the spirit in general was the thing. Okay. Yeah, just invoking Menno.
Okay. But that's your number 1? Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty intense.
Okay.
No?
It's definitely up there for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you disagree on the order?
Yeah, my number 1 would be the spell with Adam. Because he's obviously, in my opinion, and I don't know if they touch on this, correct me if I'm wrong, but they never touch on if Adam has done this previously. In my opinion, I think Adam, just like the Covenant, if anybody's seen that fucking movie, it's the same goddamn concept.
Yeah, I think trying to get more power.
He's power hungry. He wants more power and more power. This is not the first time he's done this. He's not acting like this is the first time that he's done this. I think he's just collecting power as he goes along through life. And I think that was my number 1, was everything that he did, because that was huge.
Yeah, I guess.
Whereas with the, what did you call it?
Invoking the spirit?
Invoking the spirit, yeah. We knew that was coming.
Yeah.
So I think there's different subcategories too. You know what I mean?
I guess I just figured which one was more
what was
powerful.
the most climactic.
Yeah.
And then what was the most powerful? Because if you're going off powerful, then obviously
that's really what I was going with.
But with
the most impressive and powerful. See,
I guess impressive is can mean multiple things, but mine would be climactic.
Yeah. It was close. It was number 2 with the illusions or glamour, whatever the fuck it's called.
I think it's fair, definitely.
Yeah. So, yes, are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Round 5. The villain. It's the villain factor. Who's the bigger threat? So would it be Nancy's chaos spiral or Legacy's twist villain? So obviously we know. What do you mean? What?
I haven't said anything.
You have a face.
I don't have a face.
You just made a face.
This is my face. Go ahead.
Okay. Alrighty. So in the first one, I think that Nancy obviously was ultimately a bigger threat overall because she had Bonnie and Rochelle on her side for the majority of her shenanigans. And then even when she was quickly losing control and delving into psychosis. Also, I think that just her unhinged behavior throughout the movie really made her a bigger threat because she was so unpredictable, like with how she reacted to people in different situations and stuff. But also, I think that she was probably the one in charge of all like the hallucinations that they put Sarah through with the bugs and the plane crash and the suicide attempt, like all of that stuff. And then in the second one, I mean, obviously I was surprised by the twist villain situation. Mostly because I thought that her mom was going to be involved. I totally saw Adam being a part of it from the jump. Yeah, I thought that he was going to be like your mom, like you were adopted with this intent.
I thought there was a cult.
And like, yeah, I thought it was going to be like, yeah. That's really what I was expecting when it was revealed that it was him. I thought Helen was going to come out and be like, it's time or some shit, you know?
Yeah. Before Adam took the shape of Helen, her mom, I thought it was actually her mom doing it. I had no idea. Oh. I thought that was her mom because that's why, like, as the story progressed, I was like, this seems like a cult. It seems like Adam and Helen are in a cult together, and Helen's just trying to get. So, like, when she approached Lily and was like, just give me your powers, I was like, this confirms the cult theory. Yeah. Like they're just collecting fucking magic powers, or abilities, whatever. But then when they shapeshift, that's when I was like, oh shit. So she's not involved.
Well, that's when I thought that like Helen was going to walk out behind her or something like that. And then that's when we were going to see that she was involved. Okay. But I thought Adam was a fucking creep from the jump. So
he definitely plays the character very well. Yeah. I like that actor.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. I'm pretty sure he's the guy
David
I don't know. He's in a bunch of shit, and I like him in like everything he's in.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's David D.
I think he played it very well. But before I forget, there was, to hit on some of your points, there was a lot more, I don't want to say malicious. There was a lot more shock value in the first one because of I didn't see scorpions, but scorpions, spiders.
There was
snakes.
Scorpion.
There was a lot of shit.
There was a lot happening.
All of that stuff. And then like the maliciousness of the plane crash. That was fucking dirty.
Just all of it in general.
You're trying to drive her to kill herself, and in hopes, and then the play you move to try to get her to do that is convince her that her dad and brother got on a plane and it fucking crashed.
No, stepmother.
Okay, stepmother. That's right. That's dirty. Fucking dirty. None of that kind of stuff happens in the second one.
No.
So, okay, word the description again of this category for the villains.
So who's the bigger threat?
Bigger threat. It's gotta be Adam. And the reason I say that is because I think now the solid argument to this is that how easily this brand new Coven took him down. That would be the argument. But my thing is that this is clearly not his first time that he's collecting powers. So I think in a real situation kind of thing, I think he'd be a lot more powerful than just these 4 witches. But if we're just taking it for face value, I agree that Nancy is the bigger threat because she's a lot more unpredictable because you know exactly what Adam wants. So you can kind of play off that. Nancy is just a fucking mess.
Yeah, I felt like because she's just such a wild card.
She's chaotic. Like, just chaotic.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. Yeah, I agree. My initial thing was that Adam was going to be the bigger threat. Just because I think if this is like a Covenant situation, when he was collecting powers, like in the Covenant, he was super fucking powerful.
I mean, I guess, but we don't have any evidence that
that's true.
He was collecting
for
power.
Face value, I agree. I think Nancy is the bigger threat because she was already powerful, and honestly, legacy is based off of Nancy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's how powerful she is.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too, is because like she had consumed all the power of Manon and everything. Like if it hadn't been for Sarah being able to like essentially channel her mother's powers, like they wouldn't have been able to defeat Nancy.
Yeah.
And that's true. In that situation is like them going head to head and not a 1 against 4. Because at the end of it, like Sarah had to break them apart in order to like take her down.
But then the only reason that she's able to be contained in the padded room is because she was binded, right?
Yeah, Sarah bound her at the very end. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose I would agree. Nancy is definitely the bigger threat.
I think so. That makes sense. Just the unpredictability of it all. Like Adam, I thought he was weird as hell. I was like, we need to watch him from the jump. But Nancy, I was like, where are you going here? Like, I knew you were going somewhere, but
I knew she was going to go power. Yeah. I fucking knew it.
I don't know. That was just me. Number 6.
Okay. There's 8?
Yes.
Okay, so we're on 6. Okay.
So the consequences of magic. Who faced more dire consequences? I think this one's kind of a no-brainer. So I said that I think the consequences of the magic were a lot more intense in the first movie, but that's only because they did more intense and outwardly negative spells than in the second movie. I think that they both did a really good job of showing the consequences of practicing magic. Like I said, the consequences were significantly more intense in the first movie, especially with Nancy killing her stepdad, then Chris trying to kill Sarah. They all killed that man in the road together. Killed a lot of people in that movie. And then Legacy showed like a more fun, playful side to it, which I think makes like the practice a lot more inviting. But I think that when it comes down to like learning a lesson about practicing magic, that the original, the craft takes the crown.
So what's the category again? Is it lesson learned?
Or the consequences of magic.
So the consequences of magic. But okay, so you're looking for who learned the most valuable lesson?
Yeah, I guess so.
That what you're saying?
Just
okay.
The greater consequences of their magic. I mean, in the second one,
I don't think so. If you're going off of who learned the lesson more, I think it would be the second one because they take away their own powers, and they're like,
that's fair.
This is not okay what we're doing. The only reason that they unbound at the end to fight Adam was for a good reason. Yeah. Whereas if you look at the first one, they're just fucking, all three of them are just power hungry to the point where they want what's her face to kill herself.
Sarah
to kill herself. And then even after they lose their power, they come back to Sarah and they're like, hey, like, can you help us out? Like, hey, you know, they didn't learn a fucking lesson. They just want their powers back.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? I don't think they really learned a lesson. I think they're just...
they just want to get it back.
Yeah. They just want that power back. Whereas the second one, they actually learned a lesson and they were like, this is not okay. And also another thing is that so many bad things, like you had said, happened in the first one and they didn't learn their lessons. They just like, it got worse and worse and worse.
Well, yeah. So as far as them learning their lesson, I do agree that it like the second one wins as far as that goes with like learning from your actions. But as far as like facing the dire consequences, I think a lot more tragic shit happened in the first one. Like as the consequences of their
So it's not lessons
magic.
learned. Okay. Yeah. Then if it's not lessons learned, then that makes sense.
Yeah. But I mean, I did just want to point out that like I thought, I liked the different approach that they took to the like practicing magic in the second one, with making it seem a lot more like fun and, you know, something that you do with your friends versus like, we're going to take over the world. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is necessarily a good category to win.
I think that's where that dark magic, well, I think there's subcategories to this because you started off one way, but then you said lessons at the end. So it made it sound like you were looking for a lessons learned. So I think it can go either way.
I was just saying I specifically said when it comes down to learning a lesson about practicing magic and how it can backfire or be reciprocated, the craft takes the crown. So as far as learning about, like I said, how it can backfire or come back to you with how Lirio said, whatever you send out, you receive times 3. So like things like that, there wasn't any kind of like...
I think they looked
reciprocation or anything in the second one. It was just that they were like playing around and then they did the spell on Timmy and then it came out that he like killed himself and that's why they bound themselves because they thought that what they had done drove him to kill himself. He didn't even kill himself. He was killed.
Well, right. But what they did to him directly got him killed. We already talked about that.
Guess.
But yeah, I mean, I suppose. I don't know. I think the second one would win because they learn a very valuable lesson as to how their powers can affect things. And the first one, they're just like, they didn't learn shit. They just want their powers back. Yeah. And I guarantee if you were to give all 3 of them, alternate universe or whatever, where they're giving their powers back and Nancy is released and all that, they would go right back to it.
Oh, 100%.
Right back to it. Yeah. Where the second one, they'd be like, we got to be careful. Or we have to bind ourselves again.
Yeah.
So I think the greater lesson was learned in the second one.
That's fair.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Ooh. See what the people think.
All right. Number 7, the final fight scene. Which one was more intense?
Oh, God.
Again, gotta say this one was a hands down for me. The final fight between Sarah and the other girls and eventually Nancy. That shit always gave me the creeps because of like how intense it was. And then with Adam in the final fight scene of Legacy, I thought like his eyes turning all black and everything was really creepy. And
Covenant. That happens in the Covenant.
Exactly. But I think that the final fight scene in Legacy wasn't nearly as intense as the ending in The Craft. Like I was almost kind of lackluster, honestly.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
What's the description for this category?
Just which final fight scene was more intense.
I 100%. Like which one was more intense?
Yeah, which one was more intense? Which was better to watch? Which one was a better ending?
100%.
However you want to phrase it, I don't think there's any way that it's going to change the answer.
No, I think, if you're going off, just that.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I felt like in Legacy, it was like barely climactic, honestly.
I liked the only part about the final fight in the second one is how they came together and unbound themselves or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that then they came back for her, even though like they were obviously, because they were in a fight in the first one. They were in a disagreement, but like that completely shattered the relationship. It was completely like now you need to kill yourself because we don't agree with you.
Yeah.
Where the second one, they didn't agree with each other. They, binded themselves, all that stuff. But then once they knew that she was in trouble, they were right there with her. So that I like that. To me, that was more powerful.
Yeah.
But with the actual like final like fight,
with the action of it all,
the fucking first one took it.
Absolutely. I was kind of disappointed in the second one. Like I felt like they could have. I don't know.
I'm telling you, he's been collecting fucking powers. I just feel like
they should have.
He should have been more powerful.
They should have had a little bit more backstory or something to make it. It just, I don't know. I just felt like it fell flat.
The whole movie, or just the
just
final
kind of the
fight?
Plot with Adam in general, but I don't know. I mean, that's like where if I start going into it like that, then we
need like an origins movie.
Yeah. So,
but I don't know, which would be kind of cool, but I think it would look a lot like the Covenant because he's been collecting powers for a minute.
But one thing I do want to say though is that just kind of end on that with as far as which one was more intense. I tried to time it out for like the length of this scene of like their fight and everything. The final fight scene in Legacy was only like 5 minutes, maybe. Like that whole scene, it was pretty short. Whereas in the first, it was like the last 20, 25 minutes of the movie. Of like them like really starting to get into it and like things start like the climax portion of it. Like building up to it and then it happening and all that. Like,
but Sarah chasing away the other two witches wasn't really part of the last fight. In my opinion.
Yeah, because they had all been going after her.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in the house. That's the final fight.
I think of Sarah and Nancy going at it. I think of that as like the final
I was just talking about like the whole.
But that's a good point. The whole thing though lasts significantly longer.
Yeah, there's a lot more details in it. There's a lot more closure that you get at the end of it. It doesn't feel like a quick you're done.
The only so it is the first one. When I started, this whole thing started. I misspoke because you didn't go through the like synopsis yet or like the ending and everything, so I forgot. But the scene where Sarah throws, it's like this, Nancy throws like this
like
piece
a
of
bureau?
Furniture. Something.
Yeah, it was like a dresser.
Yeah, and then like Sarah disappears or whatever. I didn't like that scene.
Really?
I didn't like that scene at all. That specific, little scene right there, I didn't like that.
No.
I thought it would be more climactic than that.
She comes back into her clothes.
I don't know.
And then fucking kicks her.
I don't know. I just thought that was kind of lame.
She says, bitch.
I thought that part of the scene was kind of lame. I didn't like that. But even with just that, it's still better than the second one. At least the ending fight.
I agree. All right, ready to move on to the last one?
Yeah. What you got?
All right, round 8, cultural impact. So which left a bigger footprint on pop culture and witchy media? Again, I don't think there's any doubt that The Craft had a much bigger impact than Legacy. I went and looked at some box office numbers just to kind of prove my point a little bit.
Again, here's the theme.
Well,
this month has a theme. The original is better.
I liked this movie though. I liked the second one. Okay. But just to throw that forward.
Let me collect receipts on why the first one's better.
So The Craft was released in theaters by Columbia Pictures, and it actually opened at number 1 in the North American box office, making $6,710,995. Okay. It is the 11th highest grossing film since 1980 in the genre of witches. And similar to Hocus Pocus last week, this movie has been labeled a cult classic by most and has a very loyal fan base. The Craft Legacy was released on video on demand by Sony, and it earned $680,000 in its first weekend, then $390,000 in its second.
Oh my God.
And then $242,000 in its third.
That is that wasn't even $1 million.
Unfortunately, this movie received a much more critical response than the first, with only 48% positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that them bringing Nancy back at the end was kind of like a Hail Mary, maybe to get the original fan base into the second movie, but I don't think it worked as well as they hoped it would. So that was just me. But I think that as far as going out, when you go to the store and you get the Craft merch, it's The Craft. It's not The Craft Legacy.
I've never seen Craft merch, but yeah,
I mean, I've seen significantly more stuff related to that movie than the second. I guess if you give it, it's something that says "We are the weirdos, mister." I guess they do say that in both movies, so that could be interchangeable. But I think that if you were to say that, yes.
I mean, you can't argue with those receipts. You can't argue with those stats. I didn't
realize that
buried.
I didn't realize it did that bad. I didn't know
Say the numbers again.
So for the both
first
of them,
no, the second one, the first 3 weekends.
The first weekend they earned $680,000. The second was $390,000.
Okay.
And then the third was $242,000.
Okay, so they did go over $1 million, but
over 3 weekends.
Yeah, where the first one was six and a half.
Over $6 million when it opened at number 1 in the box office.
You can't argue with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a bad movie. No. I didn't think it was a bad movie. Did you have anything else to add for number 8? We can round it out with the final, because I was about to go into it, but I didn't want to.
The final? I thought that was
the final verdict of what you choose overall.
I guess, sure, yeah.
Are you ready?
It seemed like you're ready.
Well, because I was just going to go into it. That's why I didn't want to do it if you weren't done. So for number 9, I wonder what your verdict is. Yeah, I was like, which one earns the rewatch crown? So what do you think? Which one would you rewatch again?
I don't care about what's popular, right? I would. Oh shit. I think that I would rewatch the second one before I rewatched the first one.
Wow.
In my opinion, I know it didn't do as well, and it didn't have all the stats and all the receipts and everything. But I like how it was more modern. I like how there was a lot more kind of moral compass going on. Mm-hmm. I did like my favorite part of the first one, which is what would make me want to watch it again, is how Sarah kind of, I want to say bitch slaps the two that come back to her house.
Oh, yeah.
And they start talking shit, and then she hears it, and she's like, no, I'm going to hit you with fucking lightning real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, well, she almost hits him with a branch. I left that out, but she almost drops a branch on them.
Yeah, with the lightning. Yeah, right. So, I mean, that right there, that was a great scene. That was a great ending to that movie. Which would make me want to watch the first one again, just because that ending is a lot better than the second one's ending.
That's fair.
But for the body of it, So that's how I would describe it. The ending, I would watch the first one again for the ending. I would watch the second one for the body.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I like the body more. I think it's a more powerful kind of like, this is wrong. We're doing wrong. Cut it off. And then they come to her rescue at the end. I like that part. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just like, I was big in the Covenant when I was younger. I like
that movie too.
That's a phenomenal movie. I love the movie. Yeah, I am.
Something in my eye. Go ahead.
I'm absolutely down to watch that movie again. But I think that's why it resonates with me a lot more than the first one. I wasn't into it. I didn't know about the craft until you showed me it. I didn't. But the Covenant, though, and then that's why watching the second one, I was like, all these things point to the Covenant. Like, this looks just like it.
That makes a lot more sense now.
The shape-shifting, the black eyes, the fucking stealing the witch's power, all that stuff. The only thing that really didn't happen was the ascending. I think it was.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that's what resonated with me a lot more.
That's fair. That makes sense a lot. Like, when you explain it like that, it makes a lot more sense.
The second one hits me a little bit. It's one of those things where I think you had to be there. You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't experience it when you were younger, it's not going to resonate with you as much.
That's fair.
Whereas like the Covenant part of the second one really hit me. So
that's fair.
That's my 2 cents.
That's a fair evaluation, I guess is the word. I don't know. But I guess I really like the second one, surprisingly.
Was that your pick?
No.
So confidently. No,
I was just
yeah.
Come on. So like, I knew that we had watched this when it first came out. Honestly, full disclosure, I really think that it was probably just more of an excuse to buy the craft as part of the bundle. Not gonna lie, that's probably why I wanted to buy them. So I knew that we had watched the second one before, but like, I didn't remember anything about it. And I think that I wasn't nearly as receptive to it the first time around, which is why I didn't remember that much about it. Because I was, sequel. I was just like, fuck this movie. I don't really care. But I will say that I admit that I was wrong initially. And The Craft Legacy is actually a really good movie. But the original will always have my heart.
It's fair.
But I will say that I would definitely include The Craft Legacy into my tradition of like, when I watch The Craft, then like add in the Legacy as fair, well. Yeah. So it's not that I hated it. I just like the first one better.
Yeah, and that's fair.
I did like the second one though. I really did. I thought it was a good movie. I did like, the actresses definitely were more believable as teenagers, obviously. When the first one, they were all like in their 20s. I think Rachel True was like 29 or 30 when they filmed the first movie. Okay. So like, they were all very much adults. And these girls, I think, I'm sure that they are adults, but they're like young 18, or like 19, young looking, 20. Right, so they fit the teenager role a lot better. But I think that's just how like a lot of things are. If you go back and look at teenagers, but if you go back and look at teenagers in these roles in the 90s, they were all like in their 20s and 30s and shit. And like now they like actually try to get people that look that age. Right. So I did like that, but I choose The Craft as the winner, but yeah. That's just me.
We should definitely. So, are you going to do the same thing that you did with Hocus Pocus? Where you're going to do the
Yeah, I'm going to put up a carousel.
I definitely want to see what people say about this one.
So this one,
I'm sure everyone's going to vote the fucking first one.
Yeah, well, this one's a little bit more of an intense showdown. Vote.
yeah, please do. Vote for the second one.
Yeah, for real. I want to know who you guys think the winner is this week. But was there anything else that you think we need to add? Anything you think I missed? Anything you want to touch on for either movie?
No, I think that covered. Yeah, I think we said everything.
Yeah, I tried not to repeat too much. That's why like some stuff that I skipped in the plot synopsis because I was going to go into it more. I tried not to be super repetitive. So hopefully that worked out.
I guess only 2 things. One is I'm curious. We don't have to do it right now, but I'm curious to, especially if it comes up in conversation. I wonder if it's done any better. Like if it's because I forget. I thought it was a conversation we had with Hocus Pocus where like it did better later. I thought that was a conversation we had. Maybe it was different. Yeah. I wonder if Legacy performed any better later down the road.
I guess I didn't look at like any later stats or anything like that. just focused on like the box office stuff.
But the second thing would be if you haven't seen it, I would definitely go watch it. Both of them. They're both really good movies.
Yeah, they're both good. I do that. But all right, ready to wrap it up then?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know these last couple weeks were all about the witches and the spells and whatnot. So next week we're gonna head into the afterlife. And trust me, it's about to get real strange and unusual up in here.
I don't know. What is it?
Because we're going to compare Beetlejuice to its brand new sequel that was released in 2024.
You're going to fucking hate that movie.
I think I'm going
to place a bet right now. The first one, honestly, this whole month, the originals are always going to win. But this one specifically... You have been avoiding this movie since it came out, and I think
before it came out.
I think you're gonna fucking hate it. And
I didn't even give it any attention in the promos.
Yeah, I can't. And we're about to watch it. That's gonna be so funny.
I'm really nervous.
They're making a third one too, which I will say though is super fucking creative. No matter how shitty it may be, it might be phenomenal. I don't know. Maybe it's better than the original. You don't know. But it's very creative though. That's like Beetlejuice. And then...
Yeah, I know. No, as soon as they announced the title was Beetlejuice, I was like, cool, they're making a third.
How can you hate it before you even watch it?
Because.
Okay. Well, at least you're
It's fine.
Not biased.
It's fine. It's probably a good movie. Jenna Ortega's great. I mean that sincerely. I actually do like her. So I hope it is good, but... Yeah.
I look forward to it.
I have very much been avoiding it, so gonna have to bite the bullet in the next couple days. It's
we
all
even
right,
have
guys.
Beetlejuice over there.
Yeah, I got Beetlejuice over there. Yep. We got the Beetlejuice thing here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So go get your handbooks for the recently deceased. Come hang out.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right behind you.
Where?
The stack of books.
Yeah, there we go. We'll put it up next week.
Okay.
So I looked. I believe it both are available on Hulu. Beetlejuice is on HBO as well, and then the sequel is on Netflix. Nice. I think it just got put on Netflix too.
Okay.
So go out,
go
watch them, whatever format you choose, and then come join us for some fun next week.
There we go. And
then, of course, still asking for submissions for episode 50. I'm hoping to do a listener rants. I mean, if no one's into it, that's fine, I guess. I don't have to, but feedback would be great. So come to our socials and let me know.
There we go.
And then, you can also, aside from YouTube, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, School, TikToks, and Spotify. And you can also reach out to us via our website, therantingpodcast.com, or you can send an email straight to me at therantingpodcast@gmail.com.
Boom.
So find us everywhere, watch and listen to the episodes, watch our short videos, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
But most importantly, keep ranting and come tell us about it. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.